Good afternoon and welcome to the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. This is our 41st episode. We do this every Friday or every last Friday of the month. And want to say thank you so much. We understand that you're probably coming back for, vacations, you're coming back or you're sitting on your mobile listening to us. So just want to say thank you so much. Today's going to be great. We're going to be talking about the best and worst marketing practices of the year, but we're also doing something a little bit different. We're going to be highlighting a few of our brothers and sisters who recently got reduction in force at Microsoft in the event that some of our audience maybe want to talk to them. They're really high-level folks that we've worked with in the past, and we've got some quick snippets that we're going to do, who they are, what they focused on Microsoft, and then what they're looking for in the future. So we're really going to be able to do that. Here RJ's on. RJ is really good. So we're gonna do that and just have a really good discussion today. A couple of just items. We're doing a bunch of giveaways today, so stay on because we're doing that towards the end of the session. And then we really want this to be a discussion here. So please, we had some great feedback last Voice of the Microsoft Partner. And this one, please keep asking questions, throw in your thoughts, your ideas, and we also have some polling. Now it's anonymous on the polling, right? So we're not calling anyone out specifically, but I think the polling also helps us all understand or get better knowledge of kind of like what are we actually doing or thinking from that perspective. So welcome to the Voice of the Microsoft Partner. Let's get started. We got a full agenda today, so don't want to waste any more minutes. Let's move over to the next slide. So this is our agenda here. That's just our welcome message. Our guest speakers today are Aditya Mohan, Shana Karatash, and then Fran Blanco are here. Then we're going to get into best in marketing tips for MSPs, and then the giveaway. That's kind of what we're doing with that. But before I get started, we also want to do what's called a Microsoft Minute. Kind of an update of what we're actually thinking of doing. So I'm actually going to be bringing on one of my colleagues, one of the people here that work here at Microsoft. He's got some great ideas on this thing called Co-op, which does kind of fall in line with Microsoft and this marketing thing, right? This marketing thing here. So Josh, would you mind coming on and then going over that?
Of course. Hey, team. It's a pleasure to meet everyone on this call today. I just want to give you a friendly reminder that Co-op for January of 2023 till the end of June of 2023 is set to expire on August 15th. And now some of you may not know what Co-op is exactly. It's funds that Microsoft provides you as a way of you getting a reimbursement for doing Microsoft activities for them. So again, that could be from being a cloud solution provider, a managed reseller hosting, Surface Hub reseller. So the agenda is we've worked with a few partners at the Crancer Group in the past, and we have found out that some of these partners have missed out on $40,000 of claim money. Another one in the last year and a half had missed out on $100K. So again, if you guys have an interest, if you don't know what Co-op is, if you're looking to find it, even to see if you have claims, it only takes us 5 minutes. So again, feel free to reach out to me. We're going to post a poll on it just to see if you have an interest. And again, I'd be happy to connect with you next week and get that taken care of.
That's fantastic, Josh. Thanks so much. Yeah, we found it. And other thing too is if you don't use it, you lose it. Think about that. If you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to just put up a quick poll here. Go ahead and it's anonymous to the group here. We'll know who says yes or no. But go ahead and just put in there, would you like to see if you have any free money that you can spend on marketing opportunities here? So I'll go ahead and submit my own one there. No problem. Yeah, there's a lot of money. You'd be surprised. And Microsoft says your back-end residuals, you get 60% in cash and 40% you have to spend on marketing. You don't use it, you lose it. So that's a good thing. All right, thank you so much, Josh. Let's go ahead and move into our next slide here. And so this is Eric Veal is a former colleague of mine. And one of the smartest people I've ever met, and I work with him on several different partner thoughts. And I want to go ahead and play him. This is our help of helping Microsoft PDMs or other folks kind of get their name out there. So let's go ahead and play Eric's session. Hey, Eric. Hey, thanks so much for coming on today. Really do appreciate it. What we're doing here is we're helping all of our brothers and sisters who worked at Microsoft that might be looking for new opportunities. So with that being said, would you mind just, for the audience here, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, my name is Eric Veal. I'm Seattle-based. I've been a working professional for about 25 years now. I just recently had a job at Microsoft as a senior partner technology strategist representing the Surface line.
Oh, great. And then what were your roles and responsibilities? Like, what did you actually do in that role?
Yeah, it was a great role for me. I was partner facing, so my topic was Surface devices, like I mentioned, which gets into Windows, modern work, and security. But my main audiences were Microsoft partners. So we started with our distribution partners, and then from there it was also the reseller and services partners. But my job was to advocate Surface and help people understand how Surface or devices really fit in a modern work or security context.
And so let's talk a little bit more about the security aspect of it, because when you and I worked, we were talking about Intune and Endpoint Manager and doing all these other things that Surface helped out with. Could you maybe kind of dig in there?
Yeah, so Microsoft has a pretty compelling story with Surface that they call chip to cloud security. And so that means that the chip that's actually on the device has some unique security features. Some of their devices, they have something called the Pluton security processor, which actually takes the TPM chip that you guys may have heard of, and it moves it actually into from the board into the chip itself, so reducing an attack vector in there. So I think, at large, Microsoft is just trying to do everything that they can to unify all their technologies together to make the storytelling of what they provide easier.
Great. And then moving on to our next question is really, what are you looking to do? If there's a partner that's on the call today, what are you looking to get into?
Sure, yeah. So my main skills, I'm a project manager, I'm a business consultant, and I can kind of point my skills in a variety of different directions. So the Surface angle for me was fun, but my background really does get into data and analytics and really just kind of any software solution problem solving, whether it's custom solutions, kind of management and oversight of delivery of custom apps. But it can also be kind of oversight and delivery of really any project. So I think at large it'd be delivery management, roughly speaking.
Thanks, Eric. How about some advice for Microsoft partners? Could you impart anything with your workings?
Yeah, I mean, I think first know that you're not alone. There's a lot of Microsoft partners out there, and then there's a lot of Microsoft staff that look after Microsoft partners. But it is a complex ecosystem, so I think definitely build your network more than anything, and maybe don't expect. This doesn't sound right. Don't expect the world from the Microsoft team, but the Microsoft team really does value its partners and wants to do everything in their power to help you guys be successful. So I hope that you think that Microsoft is a good partner in that way, but probably build your network outside of Microsoft as well. Don't become single-threaded on what Microsoft might be able to give you.
Well, that's fantastic. And, for the audience here, I fully endorse Eric. I worked with him for about a year with another partner, and our dealings were just amazing. I always loved and could count on Eric with explaining the different technologies and different things around Surface. So definitely has my full endorsement. So Eric, thanks so much for coming on today. And we look forward to getting more information from you in the future. Thanks again, bud.
Thank you very much.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and actually bring on one of our first speakers. Before we get into best and worst, I want to bring on Fran Blanco from eMazanti. Now, eMazanti is probably, I would not just probably, but I think one of the best marketers of any partner I've worked with. It's really, they really understand what's going on. So Fran, thanks so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you
so,
bet.
we have, 3 questions that we're going to be kind of talking about. And the idea here is to get different perspectives on strategy, inside of an MSP. Now, she may or may not tell the secrets, but I think it's strategy and then best and worst bets. And we'll kind of hopefully learn from her. And if you have any questions on the side, please go ahead and put them in. So, Fran, if we could just start off with, what does marketing strategy mean to you as a MSP?
What it means to us as an MSP is a roadmap for where we're going. The MSP sort of ecosystem has to be highly reactive, very responsive, sometimes chaotic, always very exciting. but in all ways, shape, or form, we're focused on the customer, right? So our goal for growth is trying to identify net new customers that we can bring into our organization and can help us generate revenue as quickly as possible. Um, MSPs, I think, historically have not been good at fostering long sales cycles because there are so many competing priorities when you're building a business. So we have to always look for, in our messaging, ways to communicate the sense of urgency of do it now. So I don't know if that helps to answer your question. So although we have a roadmap for our 12 months and a marketing plan, we have to evaluate it monthly because there's pivots that happen every day.
That's an incredible answer. Actually, I really like that answer because it kind of encapsulates, and you're right. A lot of our MSPs are atrophied in this area, right? And it's also one other key point you said, long term, because net new sales acquisition is a longer term, process, because the people that you got them to pay attention, but they may not be ready to do stuff right now, right? But they may be ready in 3 months, and you got to be in front of them, right? You got to offer them something. Kind of going into best and worst, can you give us some ideas of some of the best things that you've seen out there, and then also some of the things that you might think are less than effective?
So the best things we've seen, of course, Sherman, I'm going to toot your horn, but because I believe it, are educational events, right? No customer in the MSP space wants to be sold, right? That whole journey has left, the barn a long time ago, but they want to learn because they know they don't know everything. And even listening to peer groups or other commentary that they might read, they're not sure of what's being presented to them. So they need to do a little bit of trust and verify themselves. So education becomes incredibly important. You becoming the thought leader in front of them and having visibility about that, and whether it's in regional trade publications or email campaigns or events or immersion workshops, those things are really important to our customer base, which is the SMB space.
Okay, that's really good. And just to extrapolate down just a little bit, I think that your marketing campaigns are multifaceted. You have many different ways of marketing, right? Not just that you sell through education. Could you maybe just touch a little bit on that so that we can help our partners understand that you shouldn't just do one, but it's multifaceted? Could you maybe just touch a little bit on that?
Sure. So we've chosen a couple of ways to generate visibility with our customers. One is content, right? So we focus a lot on content. What's relevant today, and why this, why now? And that content can get deployed across multiple channels. It can get deployed in a press release. It can get deployed in an article published by a local business journal. It can get deployed in our newsletter. It gets deployed on our blog posts. It can get deployed on landing pages. It can get deployed in social media. So we kind of have one solid pillar that maybe has almost like a maypole methodology with multiple threads that we can distribute it to. That tends to make us a little bit more efficient. Otherwise, we can get too fragmented trying to address all the channels with different messages.
I love it. I love it. And then the last one we're just going to go over, we've been running these master classes with you for better part of almost 3 years. We do this like every Friday, right? Could you tell us, why you chose it? What was maybe the impact of it, right? Like, why do you keep doing it?
So about in 2019, right, 4 years ago, prior to the pandemic, we adopted a strategy of building our organization as a thought leader, as a trusted advisor in a much bigger way than we had been in conversations with our customers before. So any event that we're doing for customers or prospects has to be educational, and it has to be innovative. And what we saw in the immersion workshops 4 years ago is that that wasn't being done by anybody else. People got the experience close up, and we were able to talk to them about our organization in a very different way. What's evolved over the last 4 years and why it's been really effective for us is the intelligence that we pull out of it, right? We have a very strong lead generation and email marketing engine, and our classes fill up weekly. What used to fill up 2 weeks prior in 2019 now fills up the day prior in 2023. So, whether or not that's because we've been doing this for a while or customers' responsiveness with their schedules is different, I don't know. But because we do that and we get the intelligence from the person that's in the room about where they are in the buying cycle, it helps us close the gap with our sales team a lot more quickly. And our sales team is able to take that individual and that organization and speak to them in a way that has a much greater understanding than if it was a cold call or a meeting at a trade show.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, the way that we do it with you, you use the polling, right? And the polling really helps because it's a thinly veiled way of getting people to give you information. Like, are you looking 30, 60, 90, or do you want more information on Azure, Azure reserved instance, or, cleaning up, or security policies, depending on what we're doing, right? Or are you confused with licensing? Do you want to learn more, right? So, yeah, we're that's good. So, Fran, thanks so much for coming today. Really do appreciate it. I might call on you just as an opinion, but thanks again, man. We're just so happy to have you. Thanks again.
We love working with you guys. You're the rock stars. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Let's move into best and worst campaigns here. We thought we'd kind of have some fun with this because we brought up, we're looking at marketing, like digital marketing, right? And some of the things that we found that we noticed was we really couldn't find anything different or catchy or differentiator when it came to marketing in the MSP community. We actually found one that we're going to show you today. But what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking differently. Okay, everybody markets the fact that they're the best response. We're the best company. We solve your problems. All these different things, right? And it's like, come on, right? Like, we can't keep doing that. We can't keep just being like everybody else. And we have to start thinking of, well, what happened? When we were younger? Remember, you saw like a lot of ads, and we have to think a little differently here. Maybe we start thinking of our campaigns as mini commercials. We start thinking of how can we be a little bit different. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. We've got a couple ones. So this is one that you guys are going to remember if you are my age or within about 5 years. You remember this one called "Where's the Beef?" Let's go ahead and play that one. I love it.
It certainly is a big bun. It's a very big bun. Big fluffy bun. It's a very big fluffy bun.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
All right. So the reason we played that one, though, has anything to do with IT, but it's the idea of Wendy's, and they're taking a poke at somebody else, right? They're not selling the actual Wendy's hamburger. And this is where we have to start kind of thinking, like, what are we doing a little bit differently, right? How are we maybe getting out? Remember all those companies that had catchy slogans and music, and we probably think from the MSP community, oh, we can't do that. But I think it's about building profile. So we have some tactics that we're going to show you, but the thing, it's about building your profile, building who you are, getting out there, right? Getting your name out there. What we do here, this is our industry call. Okay, so for example, I want you to kind of, we set this out. We've got 50 people on today on the Teams call, but we got about 600 on LinkedIn. And we do this every month because we're giving back. We're trying to help people, and that helps raise our profile. This is our special way of doing it. And you should too. Actually, I think every one of you should have an industry call for, let's say, manufacturing or finance or whatnot, and you slowly build the audience, right? But then people start looking at you as, oh, well, I think you actually might know what you're doing, and then you can get a call. All right, let's go to the next video real quick. The what if.
What if buildings could tell you how they could be more efficient?
I'm listening.
Well, with IBM, you can use software to help you connect and analyze data from HVACs to elevators to lights.
What if we use AI-driven insights to pinpoint inefficiency?
Yep, and act on it. Saving energy, money.
And emissions.
Yep, that's a big one. Now you've built something better for everyone. That's the sustainability solution IBM and a global real estate company created. What will you create? IBM, let's create.
Okay, so kind of a cool, another one that's more IBM, that's more eccentric. But let me talk about my favorite, and one of my favorite partners of all time, the Henson Group. Holy Moses, they really kind of understand this. About 2 years ago, they came out with $1 million offer. Sign up for if you had a certain amount of consumption, we'll give you the onboarding for free. But look at what they have here, right? It's get up to 50,000 in Azure credits. Hurry fast, offer ends. But the idea here is that we're creating a marketing type of thing that's going to get attention, right? We're looking to get attention and driving people to actually fill out our forms or get out there. But if I were to summarize what we're talking about here, it's we have to differentiate ourselves. We have to have multifaceted, marketing different initiatives. You need to have your pay-as-you-go. You need to have your LinkedIn ads, your Twitter ads, your education selling through education. You have to have that, and then you have to have a campaign that goes on for a full year. You got to spend it. But how do you differentiate now? Because if you do all those things that we just talked about, or I just said to you, if you do all of those, the problem you're going to have is you're going to be just like everybody else, right? If you're just doing the same thing, we're the best, we are the most responsive. Bunch of malarkey. Everyone says that, right? We have to figure out how do we do this. So the people over at the Henson Group, if you take a look at their pages, really, really fantastic. They really get how to differentiate. With that being said, so those are a couple things that we wanted to share out there. I don't know if we have another poll that we want to put up there. Oh no, we want to do our giveaway. Actually, we have our giveaway next. So our first giveaway, Josh, are you gonna select the partner? We're gonna do that the wheel, right? If you can go ahead. So Josh, I think he said it already. So Josh Rogers. So Eric, are you on? Stajanko. Sorry, I hope I didn't misspell that one. But Eric, if you're on, go to the chat window and say, I'm here because you just won a $50 gift card. We're just giving some stuff away today. We got two more. We've got a $100 one and I think another $50 one on behalf there. And then I also want to call out, if you look at the chat window, RJ Johnson comes from Uncommon Solutions. You might want to take a quick look at that. They specialize in the M&A journey, right? Mergers and acquisitions. If you are working with any companies that are doing that type of thing, they have some pretty innovative thoughts on how to work, and they work really well with the partner base. So I want to keep that. All right, let's move on to our next speaker. I think we have Aditya. Now, Aditya, we saw him last month, but he is, in my opinion, one of the leaders in marketing. He has that role actually at Skykick, worked at Microsoft. So let's go ahead and play Aditya and my questions to him. Hey, Aditya, thanks so much for coming on today. Really do appreciate it. You are a wealth of information. I call you the man, the myth, the legend, because of what you do and what you do. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, a little bit about Skykick, just so we can set the stage?
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks again for having me. I know, just to clarify, I'm definitely the man, the myth and the legend. We don't know yet, right? But yeah, so, I was here with you last month, and, we are kind of transitioning from kind of talking about customer acquisition, which we did last month, into really some of the marketing, tools and the strategies to actually enable a successful customer acquisition. So happy to be kind of, joining the dots between last month and this month. And if you haven't seen last month's webinar, I would strongly encourage you to see that. So I'm Aditya. I work for Skykick. Skykick, as you may know, is the cloud automation platform. It's 100% developed and delivered for our MSPs. So in other words, we don't work directly with the customers. We count on you taking advantage of a cloud automation platform, which helps customers, migrate to the cloud. Then you can manage the customers, once they're in the cloud, by providing them security services, including cloud backup, and then actually providing them an ongoing, engagement through Security Manager, which is really the newer product that we have, which actually makes sure that the customers are compliant as it comes to the secure scores and MFA and all the good things that need to be in place to make sure that they can rest, at night and knowing that security stuff is all taken care of, and you as the MSP is really taking care of that for them. So I've been at Skycake now close to 5 years. Before that, I played, out here I do alliance marketing. So I work with some of our larger partners and ensuring that they know how they can go to market with our technologies, right? So again, marketing is integral to what I do in my role out here.
So, kind of getting into this, our first question is, what does marketing strategy mean to you?
Yeah. I mean, I think, obviously a classic marketing strategy, right? Classical marketing strategy is about what are the different, tools and the vehicles that you have in place, which can actually, accelerate the conversion of your leads into paying customers, right? How do you do that in the shortest possible time? And again, going back to last week where we spoke about the value of the customer lifetime value and the ratio of that with the customer acquisition cost, and higher that ratio, the better you're doing as an organization, right? A core key component of any marketing strategy obviously needs to be the campaigns which are integral to that, right? And again, the marketing strategy is something which is in the continuum, right? The campaigns don't need to have a start, middle, and an end time to that. And that's really what's most important for our managed service providers, right? They want to be able to run something which is very measurable with tangible results. So for instance, again, you're starting a campaign, you've got some email marketing going on, right? As part of that, you also need to have some social, media amplification. And again, in the social media, you want to come across more as an influencer and a thought leader, as opposed to in the email where you'll be a lot more specific and relevant in the information you're sharing. Right? Make sure you've got the relevant collateral out there. There's presentation available. For instance, you might end up doing a webinar, but it's critical for you to, again, stay in touch with the people who attend the webinar. And finally, you need to have a promotion, right? With the start and transition time. So again, those are the components of a strategy. Successful strategy is made up of that. Now, we spoke about, this a little bit last time as well, that, for companies who are successful and having a robust marketing strategy, it's very closely aligned with how they are bringing their products and solutions to market, right? And one of the things that works really well is when you have a standardized offer, and that standardized offer has got your intellectual property built into it, so you can again differentiate yourself, right? A good example of that might be, you might say, hey, you know what, Microsoft Teams is all over the place, right? There's a great opportunity for us out here to provide services around high def collaboration, right? There's opportunities around making sure that, there's file sharing in place. There is, collaboration tools available, either through new apps, which they're adopting. And there are, complementary products like, Skycake's cloud backup solution or a security manager solution to be able to, manage and make sure the customer is, comfortable and, engaged and making the best use of the Microsoft Teams out there, right? So again, as you build that offering and you know how to market it and how to message it and position it, that is all integral to your marketing strategy. The other thing that I've realized, Sherman, is that, a lot of times when companies, kind of build this so-called marketing strategy, they don't necessarily have everyone in the organization engaged enough, right? At the end of the day, the marketing strategy is only as good as the execution at the end of it. And the execution does not come from the marketers, right? It really comes from the sellers who are closing the deal, comes from the operations people who know that the promotion is actually going to work when it needs to, comes from the billing folks, and obviously comes from the support people when things break down, right? So including them, engaging them in that is critical, because guess what? One of the things that has changed with the, cloud and, entitlement, and I want this now as opposed to waiting forever, the sales cycles are not that long necessarily anymore. Customers, when they know they have a certain need, they want to get to that need. They can do their research, they can come to you, and they want to close that deal, and they want to get to it, right? So again, you don't have that extra time to mobilize and get other people ready. Everyone needs to be ready at the same time as you kind of formulate your marketing strategy. So your point A to point B, you can actually, move seamlessly through that process.
Oh, that is really fantastic. That is great ideas, I think, for us. So, kind of moving into, the title of this best and worst, do you have some ideas or some, maybe give us some of the best ones first, and then, you've been in the business a long time, some of the worst ideas that you've seen?
Well, yeah, some of the worst ideas are ones that I worked on. So yeah, so we'll definitely hold them towards the end. But, I think, as we talk about, some of the best ideas, right? I think the most critical aspect of it is, thinking about what can you do to actually reduce churn and ensure that the existing customers that you got are happy and content and empowered with the services that you're providing, right? So what I mean by that is really not a question of just customer acquisition. It's a question of how do you, learn from your existing customers, and how do you make sure that, what you're going to market with and the services and the products you're providing provide continued value to them, right? And what a lot of times, some of the MSPs, obviously we know that, you don't have endless pockets. You have, like, I mentioned this before, maybe 1/3 of a person, doing marketing and doing 6 other things, right? But there's a product that, I've been, using, I've used it before in my, life in a small company I work for, and I've seen a lot of success is a product called Constant Contact, right? It's a small, simple, agile marketing automation solution, right? So you don't have to go ahead and implement a huge marketing automation solution. You can use some simple solutions like that, aggregate the information, around usage, and actually shoot up that information to your, customers on an ongoing basis. Again, that's a marketing action, right? You're marketing to them the value of the service you're providing, and as part of that marketing, guess what? You're opening up other, avenues for you to be able to upsell or cross-sell, solutions to, make sure that they stay secure or they're on their path to product fitting. So building upon, what I mentioned around, ensuring that your customers are, engaged on an ongoing basis. I think the other thing that, companies need to do is they need to ensure that, in their marketing motions, a lot of the messaging and all is visual. It's visually, active, right? There's, talk can only take you so much, right? Sounds rough at sometimes when you send a, email or whatever else, right? With the voice and the video and all, you can kind of, soften it up and build that deeper connection with people. And I think the key aspect of that is making sure that when you start engaging with your customers, you're setting those expectations up front that, it's really critical for us to build this, relationship, and a long-term relationship. We want you to be an advocate for us, right? Again, the best MSPs, are successful because the customers that they have, become the influencers. They don't have to spend a dime on marketing. Their goodwill is actually going to extend the, get the word out there and get you to get more customers, right? And again, as part of that, at the time of the contract, go ahead and put a clause and say, hey, as part of this, it'd be great if you do a case study at the end. We will showcase you. We might do a webinar with you. And a lot of people are willing to do that. A lot of customers are willing to do that. They love themselves to be seen on camera. Trust me, I'm here with you, right? So, do take advantage of that and, make that as a vehicle to be able to, do some outreach, which really doesn't cost you a lot of money. Right. So those are a couple of ideas I wanted to share around, what you can do, to be able to, be successful, or what MSPs have done otherwise. Some of the things that they should not do, right? I think one of the things that, we are guilty of, we get so caught up in our day-to-day that, we don't necessarily do a good enough job of, reaching out to the leads that we might have generated in a certain campaign, down the road, right? So the leads that you had, as part of a campaign, they might not have shown interest at that point in time. Again, make sure that, you continue reaching out to them, you build a deep connection with them, and, you stay engaged with them.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's get into the, bets for 2023, the end of 2023 and even 2024. What are you betting on?
I know that, Chat GPT is all the rage, right? And, maybe some of the people, are sick and tired of it, and they're like, what's it done for me lately? In fact, I heard about AI when I was in college, 100 years ago, right? Where is it going, right? But the reality is that it is here, and it's already adding value to a lot of our MSPs, without them realizing what it's doing. Right. I think, again, the value that some of the early adopters have seen, and, again, it's going to continue growing into 2024 is that, with tools like, chat bots, now companies can automate some of the workflows and, again, reduce some of the repetitive tasks, right? You want your folks to be focused on value add stuff. I spoke about the intellectual property and all that. That's what people should be focused on. They should be building a lot more differentiators for you, be it through change management, like services or training or adoption of the products that, you're bringing to market, right? And again, with, tools like, chat bots and all, again, you are interacting with your customers, customers, through some forum 24/7, right? So now you understand their pain points much better. Every support call which comes in, you're aggregating that information, and you know which are the areas that you as an MSP need to improve to be able to improve, increase that, interaction or the value of the interaction with them, right? And that's actually manifests itself into loyalty, right? How you building your brand loyalty as part of it, because now the customer sees, hey, you know what, they know me better, they understand what my pain points are, they're being very proactive about what they're recommending to me. And again, there's a path forward for us to work with them, moving on. So the other thing that I've found is as I've started doing, some of these, playing some of these games myself, right? Or just typing in and, asking them to write a poem for my daughter's birthday or whatever that is, right? I thought I'll do some more serious work and see, how are they aggregating a lot of this information? And, if you notice at the bottom of, a lot of the, again, there's been all this, brouhaha about, hey, this is all, fake news or whatever, right? But now what they're doing, a lot of the leaders, like, the Bings of the world are actually putting attribution at the bottom and saying, hey, this is where we formulated all this information from, right? Wouldn't it be great if your website was recommended as, one of the places where that information came from? So therefore, I think it's going to be critical for companies, moving forward to really do a much better job with their websites. Again, I was a, MSP for a small time, right? I worked for MSPs for a year and a half. And, our website really was not very, let me put it this way, very agile, right? It had been the same for a while, did not necessarily break it out into saying, hey, these are the customer problems. This is exactly what we do. This is the call to action, right? Again, you need to start structuring it differently, make it very lean and make it very easily absorbable with some buzzwords in there so that when the chat, goes out there, picks up all the stuff, your website shows up as part of it. The other aspect would be that make sure your website is not just about, the products and the brands, but also some thought leadership, some things which talk about the value to the customer, right? You can talk a little bit about the marketing spiel I'm giving you right now. You can talk about, saying that, hey, for customers to be successful, they need to have a good, presence, a good, marketing, strategy or a plan in place to be able to drive that. Because again, that's what people are going to find when they do their, searches on the chat GPT and, some value provided by you. And that creates your brand and visibility and everything else, right? So I think there's a couple of opportunities out there for companies to look at. They are low-hanging fruit in some ways, right? But again, when you create the website, get feedback from your customers, get feedback from your peers. Don't be ashamed to do that. What works, what doesn't work, how can we do it better? So again, it's really around, listening to other people, collaborating better, and again, building an ecosystem around you so that you all can be successful as this, technology and the, the whole, framework evolves over the next, next few years out here.
Awesome. Wow, that's fantastic. Aditya, thank you so much for your time today. We really do appreciate it. Your advice is always welcome here, and we look forward to continuing our partnership with Skykick. We think the world of you, and we'll see you on the next vlog. Thanks again for. All right. So that's Aditya. Please, we're going to put Skykick's information. They're really great. They help a lot of their partners really with marketing, and you can end up talking to Aditya there. All right, let's go to one of our next brothers and sisters that is available for us here. He was actually in direct sales, so it might be a really good opportunity here. Let's go ahead and talk to Ludful. Hi, Ludful. Thank you so much for coming on today. Really do appreciate it. You and I have worked together while you were at Microsoft, and I want to give you this platform here to just talk a little about what you're looking to do. So could you just maybe introduce yourself and a little bit of your background first, and then we'll talk about responsibilities and what you're looking to do.
Sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. My name is Ludful Azam, and I'm a Microsoft specialist, and I have over 4 years of experience of working with Microsoft product and services. And in my previous job, I did work in the SMB space. And in the SMB space, I worked with a sales motion that's called seamless security, working with businesses working with small to medium businesses, supporting them with modern workspace solutions, including SaaS-based solutions, and also Microsoft devices and services. I have experience of full cycle sales starting from lead generation all the way to the closure of the deal, working with partners in collaboration to close those deals and providing customers with the best possible solution, and also supporting them afterward once the deal has been closed. So we can do quarterly review with the customer and also future support. And I'm also technically robust. I have in total of 8 certifications, including the fundamentals, MS 900, AZ 900, SC 900, I've mentioned a few, and also an associate level certification that's called MS 700 because I was very interested in Microsoft Teams and I wanted to get that too. And I have a culture of growth mindset, so always trying to learn new things, new technology, and also better support my customers with the knowledge that I achieve from my studies. And also I love teamwork, so I work in collaboration with my team and learning from the team and implementing solutions to the customer to provide the best possible customer service, a service that I can. And also for the future, currently I'm looking for a new opportunity. I'm open to new opportunity at this moment, and if I can implement my previous experience to the new opportunity, that would be great. Looking for roles including SaaS-based solutions, working with B2B, business-to-business sales. That is something that I'm looking for, and also use my customer obsession and also growth mindset into the new field that I'll be working on. I'm super excited for that. Thank you.
That is fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on. Right. Okay, let's move to the next one here. We got our next giveaway that we're sending out to everybody here. Josh, drum roll. You want to go ahead and select do the wheel and then select the winner. Let's see who won on this one. Then I think the $100 one is after this. Oh, perfect. Lutful put his stuff in there. Awesome. Congratulations. I can't read that. Jolandi from NetSuite. Good job. Congratulations. If you're on here, I apologize. My eyes, I swear I'm getting older now. I need my damn glasses. My God, this is ridiculous. Oh, there they are. Hold on a second. All right, here's my age. Yolandi Marias. Hey, good job. Welcome. Awesome. Geez, I couldn't even see that. I got all blurry. All right, so let's get to our next one. Before we play this here, Shayna Kortash, she is amazing. She's got some great insights here. I'm going to go off camera here, but if you need to get a hold of her, you can get her on LinkedIn. Probably one of the most amazing marketers I've ever met. Really good stuff. So let's go ahead and play Shayna, and I'll go off camera. Hey, Shayna, thanks so much for coming on today. Really do appreciate it. We're really interested in your feedback and your thoughts. To kind of get started, do you mind just kind of give us a little bit of background of, who you are, your influence, and maybe a little bit about your company?
Yeah, so thank you, Sherman. And I'm excited to be here. And I know that our company, Optimus Information, is excited to be part of this. I feel like I've covered all aspects of marketing. So I've done the big public companies with KPMG, I've done tech startups, and I've done not-for-profit. So I started a role with Optimus Information as their director of business development. Optimus is a partner of Microsoft. We are a cloud solution provider. We do a lot of things, but I guess if I were to talk about our core competencies, I'd talk about, we're probably best known for our migration, app modernization, our managed services, and our testing capabilities. And this week we were actually announced as Breakout Microsoft Partner of the Year. So that's just happening this week, which is kind of exciting for us. So that's kind of been my background and my experience with marketing.
Wow, that is fantastic. We met through the Azure Immersion Workshop program. Could you tell us a little bit about, maybe just a little bit about that and the thoughts behind that?
Yeah, so we do, probably 1, if not 2 a month with you guys, which has been a good experience for us. And it gives us a good opportunity to meet with future clients one-on-one. We sit in as part of those workshops, and then we try to have follow-on conversations with the ideal hope of helping them through any issues that they may be having and their migration process.
Yeah, it's a great program where Microsoft actually sends all of their prospects, people with engagements with Microsoft, and we deliver the actual workshop, and then you guys are part of that workshop and giving case studies and that type of thing. So that's fantastic. We love your participation in that. Let's get into the marketing stuff here. What does marketing strategy mean to you?
I think that's a broad question, but I think in its most simplistic terms, it's have a well-formulated plan and the ability to flex on it. So I'm someone that will tell you that I am very flexible and very adaptable, but I too get stuck in well, this was the plan for this month, or this was the plan for the quarter. But you do really need to, on a weekly basis, review what you're seeing. So review your data. Data will never lie to you. So I will, on a weekly, monthly basis, go through all of our social channels and see. I'll have someone pull reports on how are we engaging with people, what type of content is resonating with individuals. Sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong, but it really guides you to what people want to read more about, hear more about, see more about, and that should be the focus of your overall marketing strategy.
Well, I really like that. I really like that. A lot of times, we spend a lot of money, right, on a lot of things, but we don't actually analyze the data.
Well, I think I don't think there's anything more important than that. And, with my consulting hat on, when you are working with people that are scientists or, people that are outside of the marketing realm, they will ask me every single time, tell me how to get to here. How do I achieve this? And with marketing, there is no science behind it. And what may have worked now may not work 6 months from now, but that doesn't mean try it again. Like I will constantly, it worked the first time, it failed the second time, but let's try it again, because the marketing world is constantly evolving. But always check your data, because whatever you think or whatever you want to do or content that you want to produce, what do people want to hear about? What do people want to read about? Because that's where you want to be able to resonate with your audience, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So kind of, moving into best and worst tactics you see in our industry. Do you have some examples or things that you try to avoid?
Yeah. So let's start with the best, always first. How best do you connect with your customer? So this goes back again to probably the data that you can see on a weekly, monthly basis. Like, what are people wanting to see? What are they liking? What are they consuming? Do more of that. I always ask myself and ask of our team 3 things. Is this valuable? Are we providing good information? Are we educating people? And are we providing food for thought? So when people walk away from whatever this particular piece of content is, are we leaving them with something? So that's on the best practices side. On the worst, content that's too long, and it's hard. Like it's a technical environment. I struggle with this, and I think my team struggles with this on a daily basis. Like, how do you ensure that you're getting what you need to get to people, but you're doing it in a way where it's either not completely over their heads, or it's just it's too long, too much. So I think ensure that people are still you're still able to engage with your potential customer. Not knowing your audience. So, and I think as marketers, we tend to fall on this as well, where we think it's a great idea, but is it, right? So what's your test? Like, are you sending out surveys after events? Are you actually connecting with your audience? Because just because you think, or the people within your office and within your team think that it's a great idea, it's a great project, it's a great campaign, is it? So we will all fail at this if we aren't resonating with our audience and providing them with the content that they are actually looking for. And then the next question you're going to ask me, so I'm going to jump ahead, but what do I foresee for the rest of this year, for 2024? Video. So again, we have a hard time reading through just about anything these days. People are expecting more video content. I think that if you're able to get across your message in a short video, it's short, it's concise, and it's also it's visual. So people aren't reading through something and then you have the potential of losing them in paragraph number 6.
Gotcha.
Sherman, when you asked about our relationship with the Azure Immersion workshops and the fact that they go on for 4.5 hours, and I've talked to your team about this because, again, we all have very short attention spans. But I think what it comes down to, and why you see the return that you do, is your level of excitement, your level of passion. So when you are excited about a topic, no matter how technical it is, you need to be experienced, you need to be educated, but you need to come across in a way where you're super happy to be there and be engaged and be in the room with those people. So I think that's one of the things that really stands out for me when I've attended your AIW workshops.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, our premise, I think the reason why Microsoft likes us is we show not just the how, but the why. It's awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So how about this? Maybe you can finish off with, any last thoughts that you have or advice that you would have for people that are coming up or trying to figure out, net new customer acquisition.
So I've got a couple of things. One, AI. Like I think like for everybody, like I don't have a conversation these days, and we're all trying to get up to speed. But I hope that everyone, watching this and listening to this has had some experience with at least like a test bed environment. If not, please try it out. I'm super interested to see what AI has been around for decades, but it's absolutely exploded in 2023. So what does that mean for the rest of this year? And what does it mean for next year and the years on from a marketing perspective? And then the other thing that we were chatting just before we started recording, and just out of the box marketing. And for me, I'm always thinking of where's the opportunity? And sometimes it's crazy opportunities. Like there's been, so the writer's strike in LA, I guess, but around the world has been going on for 2 months. And now the actors have coincided and they're on strike as well. And there is no content. Like I have people saying to me, my late night talk shows aren't on. I pitched someone today, what about the possibility of doing a podcast? So we have a slightly more being opportunistic with that. We have a slightly more concentrated audience where people are scrolling, right? So we have this time now to produce content where it might be outside an audience that we normally do. And again, that comes down to video, it comes down to potentially podcasts, and maybe just doing something a little bit risky and a little bit outside of the box of what we would normally consider.
I love that. I love those answers. Wow, Shana, thanks so much for coming on today. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you inviting me. I'm happy to be here, and thanks for your time.
Wow, that was awesome. I love talking to her. She is just such a wealth of information, very dynamic, and we'll put her LinkedIn information up there if you want to contact her. All right, so let's go into our last friends and family that we want to talk to you is actually Vlad. And what's really important, but Vlad worked in the security as a security consultant at Microsoft, so he's got a lot of knowledge. Let's go ahead and play Vlad's. Hey, Vlad, thank you so much for coming on here. I really want to give this opportunity to allow you to talk to, the group that we have on the call today. So, Vlad, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of how you got into IT, and then we'll go into your roles and responsibilities at Microsoft.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Sherman, for having me here. A little bit about myself would be I love a challenge. I love new and exciting opportunities and ventures. So that's actually how I got into IT, because at the end of the day, IT is constantly changing, constantly evolving. New patches will come out, new issues will be solved, new issues will constantly arise. And to me, I'm a people person, and I love helping people out and helping to solve all of the challenges that anybody might have.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really great. So maybe let's get into a little bit about your Microsoft responsibilities. Tell us a little bit about your role, kind of what you did, and what were your specializations.
For sure. So my role was mostly centered around the SMB market. So I focused on clients anywhere from about 25 to 4,000 employees. And I was responsible for the HoloLens and working with Dynamics to ensure that people were able to integrate the HoloLens into their environment. And then I focused on security. And security encompasses the new Entra products, which were previously Azure Active Directory, Purview, as well as all of the other Defender SKUs. And I focused on helping companies implement all of these solutions while also working with all of our partners that Microsoft handles.
Oh, that's really fantastic. Must have been a pretty rich experience talking to a bunch of different customers.
Absolutely. It was never a dull moment. I was constantly picking up the phone, talking to everyone. A lot of people do want to implement a lot of Microsoft solutions, and they are very excited that Microsoft is now offering just about everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, I know that there's a reduction in force there, and what we wanted to do is kind of let the audience know, like, what are you looking to do? in the future? What would excite you if there was an opportunity that came up?
For myself personally, I would say I do have the selling experience. I was at Microsoft for just about 2 years. Previously, I was working in wholesale, mostly on computer hardware and things like that. But I did recently get my bachelor's degree in computer science. So I would say that I would be perfectly comfortable with something more technical, but I could still be very customer facing and ensure that the relationships are being built and everything's constantly going through revenue wise.
Oh, that's fantastic. And the last thing I'd like to ask you is, what type of, if you were to give any partner some advice, because you were there, what would the one piece of advice be for partners when trying to work with Microsoft?
My number one piece of advice for partners working with Microsoft would be to reach out. Don't be a stranger. Plenty of people actually will talk to you and plenty of people will reach out. Some people might be a bit busy at the moment, but eventually those paths will cross. And especially interacting with account executives, interacting with direct sales, I would say that's a really great way to position getting new clients and moving in. The direct sales associates could help with net new clients, while the account executives could help with already positioned clients and making sure that the brand keeps flourishing in those customers.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thanks so much for coming, Vlad. And we're going to be posting your resume here on the site, and for the partners here. Vlad has been a great resource for myself for the last couple of years. We've been working really closely. Knows a lot about security, and I think would be a great addition to anyone here. So thanks so much for coming on today, Vlad. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. All right. So we're coming towards the end of this call now. You may you may be watching this and be like, well, that's a little, why is he doing that? Well, I always like to give first. I never like to take. I never like to ask. I like to give help. And, these are different people that I worked with. And it's a good idea to always try to help folks that may have been, and Microsoft actually came down and just killed the whole SMB direct sales market. Everyone gone, 120 people, bam, the whole thing. And so, just want to help out, right? So reach out if you're looking for. Give first, always. All right, so let's go. Our last giveaway here, just to go ahead, $100 to Amazon. Maybe you can go buy, the baby needs a new pair of shoes. Let's see me put my glasses on. Hold on a minute here to see Josh is going to go ahead and tell us who won the $100 for today. Christine Ott. I think it's Ott. Oh, please tell me I didn't murder that. From Cloud EQ, you're our final winner. So we'll be in touch with you with that, and use that to maybe take someone out to lunch or get yourself something at Amazon. We love to do that. All right. So with that being said, I want to talk. Last thing here is save the date for next month. This is gonna be amazing. So we got Christine Brown, Senior Project Manager at Microsoft, and she's navigating the Azure Marketplace. So she's in charge of co-sell, all things co-sell, bringing offers to the market, and they just changed it again. They love to change things here. They love it. So we're going to have her on, and she's going to give us all types of advice about co-sell, the marketplace, transactable. Like, if you're not at this next meeting, you're going to be in trouble because all these other partners are going to surpass you. So we're going to give you the latest stuff. We're bringing it to you. Go ahead and register for that. Tell your friends, tell your people other partners that you might work with. This is one to come to, not just the marketing one, but this next one, man. And I got to be excited. Remember, Shane was talking about being excited. I get excited about this stuff. Last thing I'm going to always leave you with, you need to decide two things, right? Are you a dreamer or a leader? Okay, in this industry, dreamers talk about what they're going to do, and leaders do what they talk about. Okay, and it's really important to understand that. Are you a chief or an Indian, right? We are chiefs over here. We're disruptors here. So, ask yourself that question. If you feel like you're a dreamer, start doing what you're talking about. Okay, implement these changes. Implement the stuff that we talked about. You got to get this stuff done, multifaceted. Do the marketing. With that being said, I'm going to leave you and say thank you for coming today. This is awesome. This is a good one. We're going to leave it on a high note. Have a great afternoon. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.